Today I'm be talking about one of the most popular, if not the most popular gun right now, and that's the AK-47. I'm be showing you how to play it as an LMG as well as play it as a solid AR. Now I feel like the LMG is a stronger way to play it, so I'm going to start with that. I'm going to be showing you a couple of different ways to play it. Obviously you don't need to use the thermal. I like the thermal, but the Microflex is how most of you are going to want to play it. If you're not a huge fan of the thermal, definitely run the Microflex. It offers a good, strong field of view. You can see everything around you. I play more corners. I can see the data and then I aim in. So I go with the thermal. I do like the thermal, but the Microflex is the solid other option. On Muzzle, we have two options as well. We have the Eliminator. I like the Eliminator. I don't care about 100% staying off the map. But if you do want to be 100% off the map, then you'll be running the suppressor, and I'll show you the barrel to run with the suppressor as well. But I feel like the Eliminator just helps you land a little bit more headshots, and when you land that headshot in a mid-range engagement, you probably won that fight, so I like the Eliminator. Now I'm going to start off with, if you're running the Eliminator, you will also be running the Liberator. At that point, we don't need to make up the effective damage range that we lost. We're perfectly fine. We're going to keep our bullet velocity and double it. And that will help us win a lot more of our mid-range engagements. If you are running the suppressor, though, you've taken a hit already on your effective damage range and your bullet velocity, so you will need to run the reinforced barrel to make that up, to actually make the AK win its mid-range engagements, which are the engagements it should be taking on. So it might seem like the takedown is going to make this like, oh, I'm playing it like an LMG, let me use the takedown, I'll get 150% extra damage range, I'll be able to take out targets across the map. No, those targets are just too far out. Either it's a sniper posted up, it's going to win the fight. Somebody really good with a tac rifle will win the fight. Anybody else, and even pretty much anybody at that range between 100 and 150% extra damage range, you're going to probably, if you're good, take them down to 10% health most of the time, and then they're going to be able to get back in cover. If they're really out in the open, you can take them out. Other than that, the takedown just really isn't an option. The reason you go for the reinforced on the silencer is because you already lost 40, so you need to make that back up, and gaining like 20-40% extra is really the engagements you're going to benefit from. You're not really benefiting too much from your max 100% or the max 60% bonus that you got. But you do need to make that back up, so if you are running the silencer, you need to take on and use the reinforced. Even if you're running the Eliminator, you could actually try out the reinforced. It works almost as well as the Liberator, but the Liberator will help you win a lot more of your close range engagements that you probably going to lose anyway. But it'll help you win some of those close range and a lot more of your mid-range engagements. So for our body, I like the M-bar sighting point. It gives us hip fire accuracy. The 30% reveal distance is about the max range that we should be engaging in anyway, or trying to engage in. So that is perfect. We lose 10% on the aim down sight time, 10 on the sprint to fire. It's not terrible. Alternatively, you could lose none and pick up either hip fire, or personally, I would think if you're going to pick up anything, pick up the reveal distance, or go for the Tiger Team Spotlight, pick up 40 and don't lose any aim down sight time. Sprint to fire is less important. So the Tiger Team Spotlight, Ember sighting point, or mounted flashlight, but personally I definitely recommend the Ember sighting point. Also helps with enemies that throw smokes, gives you a little bit more reveal distance, and smokes are becoming more popular. Our underbarrel is not even a choice. The recoil on this gun is not really manageable to the point of being able to keep it on the body and the chest for at least 80% plus of our bullets if we're not using this grip. So you got to run that grip. Our magazine, we have two choices. You could either go and give this a 50 round fast mag, giving it the ability to kill like half a dozen targets or a couple targets and lay down some suppressive fire as well. You will take a huge hit on your aim to sight down time, 25%. It is noticeable. I mean, you're gonna, as long as you aim around corners, instead of like trying to go run out in the open and then aim down your sight, you will probably be fine most of the time. I actually do like this. You're going to take a couple more deaths, but it's a lot more fun to use. If you're trying to go for like nukes and everything, you're going to have to run the Guru Mag Clamp, because this will help you raise your sight down quicker, allow you to take out 2 to 3 targets before you have to reload, and you will get that reload quickness. So it's really play style and the size of the map that's going to determine which one of these you want to use. For our handle, it's a little bit less of an option. The aim down sight time, you do actually have the option of the Serpent Wrap. The Serpent Wrap won't hurt your shooting move speed, but I really like that flinch resistance. I don't drop shot as much as I just crouch and shoot. But if you're a huge fan of drop shotting, obviously you have to go with this. If you don't care about drop shotting at all, and you want to lose a little bit less on the sprint to fire and the shooting move speed, you could go with the Serpent Wrap, or just go with the, personally, yeah, it's really the Guru Elastic Wrap. You can look at this, consider it as a second option. I know most of you are going to want the Guru Elastic Wrap. And lastly, we have the KGB Skeleton Stock. Definitely not an option. This is by far the best sprint to fire, aim walking speed, and we only lose hip fire accuracy. I mean, at best, 5% of the bullets we fire are hip fire bullets. So, this is just an all-around win. Now, the gun that it should be paired with, personally, I like the Diamantes. You could be running the Street Sweeper as well. Personally, I think the pistols, because in any time that I need to go around corners or anything, I just switch to the Diamantes. It's the fastest weapon to switch to, because any pistol is the fastest weapon to switch to. And with this setup right here, it is a 1 to 2 burst kill in those type of scenarios. So you don't have to run the suppressor, but the 25% damage range isn't hurting you in those scenarios where you're that close anyway. So I like the suppressor. Obviously, alternatively, you could run the Eliminator, but with this setup with the dual wield, if you're going to be able to kill in 1 to 2 shots, you need the dual wield. And at that point, I might as well just run the suppressor as well, especially if I'm not already on the map, people don't know where I'm at. I definitely want to be running the pistols as I'm going through those buildings. Barrel, definitely the task force, so we get that damage, so we can 1 to 2 shots. 30 round fast mag, why not? And the stock, the dual wield, is definitely the secondary way to go for the AK-47. Now, if you are running the thermal, I do highly recommend the smoke grenade. Otherwise, take one of your choice. Lethal, I like the Molotov, but it's really your choice. Field upgrade, I was just running the assault pack, but gas mine, it's really your choice. Perks for this, Black Jacket or Tactical. Scavenger really is a must. And then your last one, if you're running the suppressor, obviously you probably want to run Ninja. Otherwise, I like Cold-Blooded. But just one more thing to note on this is with the 50 round fast mag, sorry I forgot to note this earlier, you will start with 150 bullets, another reason I like it. And with the Guru Mag Clamp, you will start with 120. 120 though is usually enough for you to kill a few targets and be able to pick up more ammo. With Scavenger, all you need to do is really pick up one thing to go kill another 3 targets, assuming you don't use your gun as suppressive fire. So that is fine. So on to the way to play it as an AR. So you'll see this setup right here, but there is one other way to play it. Now, your muzzle, playing it as an AR, you either have the Eliminator or the suppressor. Again, that is your choice. Barrel, same thing. If you're running the suppressor, you're going to be running reinforced. If you're running the Eliminator, you're going to be running the Liberator. For our underbarrel, we'll have the Spence Naz grip. Now, for our last remaining 2, you have 2 choices. You could go all out on your aiming down the sight time and your sprint to fire, which I consider aiming down the sight time anyway, but or you could run the magazine of your choice. I highly recommend the same 2 ones, Guru and 50 round, although in this setup I would recommend the Guru over the 50 round. and then you pick whether you aim down your sight more or you sprint to fire more. For your secondary weapon for this, I highly recommend using the Lawbreaker setup instead, since we don't have a maxed out AK. Even though the iron sights are great, I personally like to run this with two. I have my setup with the little brother of the AK. I'm calling that. And I have mine with the AK-74U, which oddly enough pretty much runs the same thing, Eliminator or Suppressor. You're going to be running the reinforced barrel if you're running the suppressor. Once again, the liberator if you're running the eliminator. Under barrel, same thing. Magazine, same thing. Pick 2 of your 3 out of these choices from the same setup as the AK-47. Same rules apply. Ninja for suppressor, scavenger, stim shot, smoke. If you're running well, you can't run the thermal for the setup, so then you'd just be running the tactical lethal field upgrade and perk of your choice. And that's how you can set up the AK to play it as a light machine gun or an AR. I don't really consider it a light machine gun that much if you're not playing it with a 50 round mag, but I mean, call it what you want to call it. But that's the best ways to set up the AK-47. I hope that